Welcome to the last session. We have 3 excellent talks. You will be glad you stuck around. Our first speaker is Sarah Bird, who will tell us once and for all whether it's bokeh or bokeh.
Hi everybody, my name is Sarah Bird. I work for a company called Aptivate. You can find me sarahaptivate.org or on Twitter. And today we're going to be talking about interactive data for the web in Python using the data visualization library Bokeh. I don't actually know. I just pronounce it with my British accent and people say it sounds charming. I'm the kind of person that likes to learn things by doing/breaking things. So today we're going to be making something in Bokeh to get a feel for the capabilities of it. So what is Bokeh? Bokeh is a data visualization library. There are many data visualization libraries already. It's typically a stronghold of JavaScript world, so D3.js and lots of other JavaScript libraries. But in the Python world, we have things like matplotlib and seaborn and ggplot and other things like that. But Bokeh is different. Bokeh is in Python. It makes your visualizations for the web as webby objects that are interactive and dynamic and really data-driven, and we'll really get to that towards the end of the presentation. And its roots and its history is in data science, and so how many people here would sort of put themselves in the data scientist camp? So a few people here who, when I say pandas and IPython notebook, they're going to be like nodding and nodding. And then how many people are sort of on the web developer kind of side of things, right? So like these things mean nothing to us, or maybe they do if you're in the crossover camp, but like it's, that's a bit of a foreign world, but I think Bokeh is a really powerful tool for somebody like me as a Django developer who just loves to stay in Python, and so whenever I can, I like to. And so that is my very first reason for loving Bokeh, is that I really, really like writing in Python, and I think this is a crowd that probably also likes writing in Python, and that's a pretty powerful reason. You get to stay keeping your unit tests in Python, you get to stay just in that world, but you're still making front-end interactive visualizations. There are other reasons to use Bokeh too. The first one is that if any of you have ever used something like D3.js or a JavaScript library that makes SVG output, there's a limit to how many number of elements you can actually throw at the DOM before your browser explodes. Bokeh uses Canvas to render your visualizations, which means that you can quite happily throw 10,000 points at it, and it's not going to complain. They're actually working on some WebGL backend too, which is going to make that even better. And with Bokeh connected to the server side, you can really do some awesome things with big data, which there's lots of information about online. I'm not going to talk so much about today, but I'm happy to talk about later. Bokeh lets you do real-time updates. When you connect your data visualization to the Bokeh server, anytime your data changes, that data is going to be pushed straight down to your plot. All the magic happens for you. And then the fourth thing that makes Bokeh awesome is, if you're trying to interact with your plot, but maybe trying to do something a little bit more tricky, maybe some computation that your browser's going to really complain about, you can now throw that back up to the server, have all that computation done on the server side, throw it back down, and it's gonna work really nicely for you. So Bokeh is not the magic silver bullet. There never is one in web, but it is my new default. It's my new go-to tool to write something, and then maybe you have to move on if you really have a specialized need. But Bokeh covers an awful lot of my use cases as a web developer. So very quickly, how does it work? Because we're writing Python, but magically JavaScript comes out. You write Python on the server side, and it makes a JSON. It makes a bundle of JSON, and that gets shoved down to your client. And then there is actually a Bokeh.js library, so the Bokeh core dev team actually have to write a lot of JavaScript for us, and that JavaScript turns the JSON that the Python created into native web canvas and HTML. And what's really cool about this is that actually, if you live in a world other than Python sometimes, there are other languages, other libraries that can also create that JSON. So there's RBokeh and Bokeh Scala and all sorts of other things that I've never used. Don't ask me about them, but they exist, and some people think they're really awesome, so I think they're worth mentioning. Also, there's a compatibility layer, the far right there. So if you already have a whole bunch of plots in Matplotlib or Seaborn or something like that, there's already a compatibility layer in there, so you can throw your existing plots in there, and they'll come out as web visualizations for you using Bokeh. But today we're going to really be focusing on the core Bokeh library, and Bokeh itself, certainly when I came to it about a year ago, there's an awful lot of ways you can use it, and I found it quite daunting. So I'm just going to focus on two sort of aspects, the very high-level interface they have and the really low-level guts interface. And for me, that's enough to get an awful lot done, and I think it shows that actually Bokeh is pretty accessible. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be building the visualization that you can see here. I work for a company called Activate. We're a non-profit, and we build software for other non-profits, and it's all open source software. And so about a year ago, we built this visualization for WaterAid, and it's a map of water and sanitation in Africa and how it's changing over time. It's built in D3, and that was a good choice, and I think I would still build it in D3 if I was doing it again today. But you can go to Activate's GitHub page and see the original D3 code for this, as well as going to the code for this talk to see the Bokeh code if you're interested. I may use the acronym WASH a lot today, which stands for Water, Sanitation, and Hygiene, and it's just one of those terms that we use in the water and sanitation world. So here's the visualization, and it has a slider, and if I click on the sanitation side of things, you can see the colors change over time, and we can hover over countries, and we can pick countries. And so we're going to remake this. We're going to remake this today. The D3 one's on the left, and the Bokeh one that we're going to make today is on the right. And there again, for the people that came in late, there's the link to the code for this talk and the slides for this talk, and I'll tweet about it later as well. So we'll start with the charts interface, which is kind of amazing. And so there's a whole series of functions built into Bokeh. And so you import the line. We're going to start with the line chart that was on the visualization. And you import the line function from bokeh.charts. You shove in your data. You use the show method, and this appears. And this is a fully webified visualization. We have a whole bunch of things. We have a pan tool that sort of works out the box. We have a zoom, so I can do that, and it'll zoom in. We have a resize function here, should we want to do that. Zoom, save it, reset, and move on. So that's pretty rad. And there's a whole bunch of these already built in. You've got your area charts, your bar plots, heat maps, and so on, so you can use these straight away. But what was that data that we saw? So half of the people in the room who already self-identified as understanding pandas, that was a pandas data frame. You can throw that into all the chart functions and into Bokeh, and it's going to do what you want. For the people who've never used pandas before, it's one of these awesome tools, but it has a fairly steep learning curve. But you don't need to worry about it too much to really get going with Bokeh. What you need to know is that if you have, what you need to know is basically at the end of the day, it's just data that looks like a table. And so if you have a CSV, you can use the cunningly named read CSV method. If you have JSON, you'll be surprised to hear it's the read JSON method. If, like me, you are more likely to have a Django query set, and this top line here looks super familiar to you, then in order to get that into a data frame, you turn that into a values query set, and then you can use the from records method, which will then turn your Django query set into a pandas data frame, and you're good to go. And lastly, you can also just do from raw SQL if you're in the Flask, Pyramid, SQL Alchemy world. That all works too. And there's lots more information at pandas.pydata.org. And so here you are. You're like, yes, I'm going to make a data visualization. Yes, I use my chart function. Yes, you're going to show it to your team. You walk past your designer, and your designer is like, this does not look like our website. And she has sad face. And so it's time to go back to the drawing board a little bit, and you sheepishly walk away. And so we have two ways to make it shiny. The first one, which is actually one I use a lot, I sort of call it the reductive approach. So the first thing we do is we take that chart function, the line function, and we pass in some additional arguments to it to start to clean it up. We pass in a palette, we give it the height and width we want, we maybe take away some of those grid lines and some of that visual clutter. We've taken away all the tools because we don't actually need them, and we're making some progress. I will just quickly note that Bokeh actually comes with a whole bunch of built-in palettes, which is really handy for sort of making things look nice out of the box. So that gets us kind of far. But remember, we're working in Python, and so what we have is a whole bunch of Python objects. And so what we can start doing is just setting attributes on those objects. So we can just specify an X range, specify a Y range, and just start setting things over and over again. And so we had this before, and with a little bit more tweaking, we can get it down to this. And at this point, I will mention that when I'm doing this kind of tweaking, I do really love to work in the IPython notebook. If you haven't tried it, it's really great for prototyping your visualizations in Bokeh. It's really great because, because it has all the autocomplete, it's really easy to just see what things you might want to fiddle with and how you might want to fiddle with them. So I really love it for prototyping. And Bokeh works really, really nicely with IPython notebook for those people who are on the more data science side of things and are just trying to actually explore their data. But we can use it for design work too. So that was nice. But where we're going is actually trying to build this visualization, which has a lot of components to it. And so to do this, we're going to actually sort of start again, and we're going to start using that low-level interface and building things up one at a time. So, I already said that, the low-level interface. So we're going to start with a plot object. When you create a plot object, all you get is just an empty space, and it's now your responsibility to start adding things to it. And there's only really 3 ways to do that. You use the add glyph, the add layout, or the add tools method. A quick interlude on embedding, because I'm saying all this, but how does it actually get into your web page? Bokeh has a couple of built-in methods for making this happen. This components method here will kick out a script and a div, and you can shove that into your template. I actually like to do slightly more complex things. I like to load my Bokeh.js asynchronously, so my page loads nice and fast, and then my charts come in, and things like that. It's pretty easy to roll this yourself because the things that make those script and div in the first place are just Ginger templates. And so you can just go and copy and paste them from the Bokeh GitHub repo and then sort of tweak them to your own needs. And if you look in the code for this talk, you'll see me doing that, and I'm happy to answer more questions about it. And I'm going to talk about the CSS a little bit later. So first, we're going to start simple, and there was the legend on the visualization. And this isn't attached to any data. It's just adding some blobs onto your page. And so at the core of Bokeh is this idea of glyphs. And glyphs are just shapes. I've forgotten why they like to call them glyphs, but basically they're just shapes. And so you have your plot, and you just start adding glyphs. So text is a glyph, and so we can add the 0%. And 100 is a glyph, and we just add the 100%. If you're wondering what this font properties is, because we are using Canvas and not SVG, we need to actually style all of our elements. So we can pass in the font size, and all these kind of things that we want just as arguments when we instantiate that class. So we start adding our glyphs, and we can use a for loop to make this nice laid out rectangle, and it's very Pythonic, and it works. So the next thing we need to do is start making our map. Now our map actually has some data behind it, right? Each country has a different value associated with it, and so we need to start pairing glyphs with actual data. And so this is kind of tricky, so just bear with me. I'm kidding, it's not tricky at all. It's really, really easy. And so it really is, it's devastatingly simple, and it's one of the things that just makes me happy about Bokeh every day. So Earlier we talked about pandas data frames. When you get into the really low level of Bokeh, they have their own sort of data structure called a column data source. But to make a column data source, you just pass it your pandas data frame. It's not difficult. So we make our column data source, and then where before we had just used add glyph with just the glyph, now we pass it the source as well, and it's going to magically join things together. And so here we are. We used a glyph to make each of the countries. And so we passed it some X's, we passed it some Y's, and we passed it a color, and that came out. And then we've sort of melded together our key and our map right here. So the next thing we want to do is start adding some interaction. So we're going to add the tap tool and the hover tool. The tap tool is the thing that lets you select things, and the hover tool, lets you hover. So the tap tool is really easy to add. You just instantiate tap tool and add tools tool. For the hover tool, you pass in a string, and you use this little, you use an @ sign to specify the column name that you'd like to be displaying. And so you can just do this very simply, like I've shown here, or you can write full HTML if you want to style it and make it really pretty. But again, just using those @ signs to drive the data. And so when we do that, we have this again. But now when we hover over, I've added some CSS to meet up with that hover, those hover classes. And when I click my things, they're now responding to the tap. So you're really seeing how you wrote some Python and got out some wonderful HTML interaction. Oops. Uh-oh. Okay, so this is when things start to get even more awesome. Everything we're working with is a Python object. So we can start sharing Python objects between different things. And so you may remember on the original visualization, there was some stuff on the right that was responding to when we clicked on the map. And so what we can do is we can take our source that we've already created, and we can not only have that one source drive the map plot, but we can also have it drive the text plot. And so when we do that, here's some new sort of empty text that I've added, and there's some sort of holes here. But now when I click a box, that same row of data is powering both the map and that text box at the top. And these two are just linked together by virtue of they're sharing the same object. So the next piece is just to get that water and sanitation piece going. So we have our water text box, we have our water map. We now go and repeat the same thing to make the sanitation version of it. And we use the widgets that Bokeh provides to stitch it all together into tabs. And this is where, when you dig in a little bit, you see that a lot of the time when you're making a plot, Bokeh's using Canvas to make that. But when you start using some of these widgets, it actually starts to inject some little bits of HTML to make that happen. And so here it is. We've used the tabs, and now we have our two tabs for water and sanitation. We've shared the data source across all these elements. So now when I click Mali in sanitation, it's been selected over in water, and it's all working together really quite nicely. But now we want to get that slider working. And so to get that slider working, what we're actually going to do is we're going to update the data source. We're going to actually have the data change when we move the slider. And to do this, we bring in the Bokeh server. And what the Bokeh server does is, now instead of that code just coming down to your client, you prepare your code, but you send an instruction to the server of how do you want me to respond to the data? And so then when your client wants to get your plot, your client asks the server for the information, the JSON comes down from the server, but a WebSocket connection also gets established. And that WebSocket connection means that every time one of your plot objects changes, that information is just going to get updated straight onto your client. It's just going to get pushed right down for you. So to do that, we create what I call as like a server app, like a Bokeh, a little Bokeh app. And in particular, we want to specify the instances of things that the server needs to care about. These are the things that when they change or when they update, like the server needs to know about. And this kind of blueprint needs to, sometimes you host your Bokeh server and your web application server in the same place, and it's totally easy, and the Bokeh examples show that really nicely. But sometimes you might want to host them in different places, and if you're hosting them in different places, you need to make sure that both the server and your original web app have some knowledge about how to put your Bokeh app together. So you have these instances specified, and on your web app, you just go through the regular thing of creating the plot, just like we did before. You make the map, you make the text box, you make the data, you put it all together. It's nice and straightforward. And on the server side, you start binding events to those objects. So the year slider that we're going to see, when that value changes, we're going to say, please call the change year method. And when we call the change year method, what it's going to do, the real magic here, is when self.source.data changes. And when self.source.data changes, on the server side, the server then knows, oh, I've updated, shoot that back down to the client. And that's the magic that really lets Bokeh do some really powerful things. So now we've done that, we're all done. Here's our slider. Oh, hang on, actually, this is much clearer on this. Oh. That is awkward. I think I embedded the wrong thing. OK, it totally works. I'm very sorry. And I will tweet you the link later if I can't get it to work magically now. But I'm going to keep going because I'm running a bit short on time. So some of you may be sitting there thinking, do I really need to set up an entire server to have a slider on my data visualization? That is a pretty fair question. The short answer is yes, but. And the yes, but is multifold. So the first thing is there is this really awesome thing coming into Bokeh in the next few months called the JavaScript Actions Framework. And that is going to let you start writing little pieces of Python code that actually make JavaScript actions happen. And there's already one of them in the repo for you to check a look at called OpenURL. But that exact actions framework is totally what I would use to power that slider. And that's coming really soon. The second thing is this is a pretty trivial example, but the server is really awesome, and you will almost certainly want to use it for much more complicated and interesting things than what we just did. Data manipulation, downsampling, like if you have, let's say you have a line with 10 million points in it, so you start really zoomed out, you can sample that down to like just the set of data that we can see. You can have your users zoom in and zoom in and zoom in and just be sending like the data that they can actually see. You can be streaming your data. You can have some external source, like always be updating your plot source, and then those data changes are going to come down to your plot. And lastly, there's always Bokeh.js. So Bokeh.js is a real library. You can go and use it should you feel the need to. And actually, I don't use it much, but one of the ways I do use it is I use it to make my plots responsive. So in web design, people have all different kinds of browser sizes, so I don't want my plot to only look nice on one size of browser. So I use Bokeh.js just very simply to resize my plots whenever a window size changes. And the code for that is in the repo for this talk, so you can go and check that out, and I'm happy to answer more questions about it. So some wrap-up thoughts. Back to the high-level charts. They're an awesome way to get started. I use them all the time. I often use them in a kind of Frankenstein-y kind of way where I will start with a chart, take a bunch of stuff out, then add some glyphs and sort of mash some stuff up like that, because it's a really fast way to get something up. The second thing is about CSS. If you have something that's just in Canvas, you don't need any CSS. But some of the things like the hover styling, the widgets that we used, the slider, that needs some CSS. Unfortunately, Bokeh's current built-in CSS is like a megabyte, which for me is too big, so I like to just roll my own. And again, I just take the little bits I need from the GitHub repo and roll my own CSS for my web application. Some final thoughts. In the Bokeh repo, there is an examples folder. On the bokeh.pydata.org website, there is a gallery which has maybe 20 or so examples in it. But in the examples folder, there's like well over 100 examples of how you could do everything you could possibly think of. And so I would totally recommend using that as a resource to really dig into how Bokeh works. The Bokeh team are planning to have 1.0 up by the end of the year, so it's really kind of, it's come a long way in a year, and it's really starting to kind of bed down and be nice and stable and really, really usable. Lastly, if you want to get a server up and running, it can be a little bit tricky, but I have a repo that you might be interested in, which is how to get your server deployed onto Heroku. And some final thoughts is that I love Bokeh, and there is so much more that I wish I could have talked about today. I'm around during the sprints, come and find me, or the Bokeh community is really, really friendly, so check out their GitHub repo, check out the Google group, and again, the code for this slide is online. So thank you very much. Yeah, that's fine.
We have time for just 1 or 2 questions if you want to come to the microphone here. As always, we play by Jeopardy rules. Your response must be in the form of a question.
Excellent talk. Thank you very much. You obviously like the framework. Can you just quickly say how fast it was for you to come up to speed? You know, how good was it to come up to speed? What was your ramp-up time?
I would say that's a hard question to ask because I started with Bokeh about a little over a year ago when it was at 0.4, and so everything was changing kind of fast, and the documentation wasn't where it should be. There has been a huge push in the last month or so on the documentation, and they're still doing it, and so it's actually very easy to use with the components that I showed you. I think it would be much easier to get started today than tomorrow, and if I fail to live up to that promise, you can hunt me down on the internet, and I will help out with that. So,
with the Wash project, you mentioned that it was in D3, and it ended up staying in D3, and you mentioned that you would still do it in D3 as opposed to Bokeh. Is there a reason why? Yes,
for today, because of the slider. So if you ask me if I was doing this again in 3 months' time, when that JavaScript actions framework is available, then I think it would be, I would have to search for a reason not to use Bokeh in that instance. But as of today, I would still go with D3.
Thank you for your talk. I wanted to ask if you had opinions about what are the pros and cons of using Canvas or WebGL as for rendering rather than SVG.
That is not my field of expertise. There are whole things about which is faster in which instances and so on, and there are blog posts on the internet that will answer that much better than I can. I like the fact that SVG you can style with CSS, that's kind of cool, but at the same time, there's some really obvious limitations when you want to throw any kind of decent-sized amount of data at it. At some level, I think they become a bit of a toss-up, but people much smarter than me can answer that much better, I'm sure.
Great. Let's thank Sarah one more time.